Sup nerds, I'm Tom. One game that I've been falling in love with kind of recently is Dice Forge. And here we have an expansion with 2 new modules, like sort of new game modes, and a ton of new cards and new content for the game, so I'm super excited. Let's talk about it. So obviously I'm just going to talk about the expansion in this video. We do have a full Our Thoughts video for the base game of Dice Forge up on our channel. You can go ahead and check that out. I think I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description box down below. But this expansion comes in this little box that you actually put up. You see how I have them butted up against this other box because the box is kind of used in this game. And the reason why I said there's 2 modules is because there's this little board here that is double-sided. You have this track, the Golem track or whatever, that you move down. It's a one-way track. And then here you have, I think this is the Goddess module, where you have these 2 tracks where you start in the middle, and it's kind of like a tug of war which track you're going to go down. You're going to move down this side a little bit and then come back, or you're going to come in this side, and you know. Now these 2 modules can't be played together because there's a lot of new cards in the game. Some cards are specific for one module, some cards are specific for another module, and more importantly, they're both printed on this thing. So you have this on that side and that on that side. So I'm thinking maybe you could take an X-Acto knife and like cut this right down the middle here, maybe. Both modules add an extra mechanic and an extra thing that you need to think about. So the Golem one is, I gotta be honest, is probably the one that I like better. There are cards on the board and die faces that you can purchase and forge onto your die that have little +1s on them. So that will allow you to move up the track. You start down at one side of the track and you can move either straight down the middle or along the either end. So you can go like the fast track or the slow track, and everything you land on, you get. There are even areas where there's nothing printed there, but there's little tokens that you can put on there, so you can decide what you're going to get when you get there. If you get all the way to the end, you get 15 bonus points. So, I mean, obviously, that's a good goal to try and go for, but even so, just slowly moving along that track and gaining all those resources and money and victory points, and getting to purchase new faces and getting to roll the celestial die, which is, we actually call it the super awesome die, just because it has so much great stuff on it. You can get 12 money from there. Look at that right there. Boom. It's one of my favorite things in games, is just the idea of everything being really plentiful. You're not starving for resources, and you're not really tight and efficient, like, ooh, if I go ahead and do this, I'll have just enough to buy this thing that I want to get. It's more like you're just constantly gathering more and more and more. Like you put a whole bunch of chewing gum in your mouth and you're chewing, you're like, oh yeah, it's great. So that module just honestly just feels really fun. It's a lot more like turn your brain off sort of fun. Again, it's just gathering more resources and moving down the track. There's also this thing about, there's 2 different +1 sides of the die that you can get. You can get a red one or a blue one, and if you ever roll both of them at the exact same time, then you get a bonus. You get to roll the super awesome die. So, there's a little bit of, strategy when you're doing it or whatever, but ultimately it's just again, turn your brain off, have more fun module that adds extra variety. The other module, on the other hand, again, I don't want to say that I disliked it. It was fun. It's this tug of war of, you're either going to move up the positive points track where you'll get bonuses, you'll get extra gold and extra points and stuff when you roll certain faces, and you get positive points at the end of the game. Or go down the negative points where, you'll get negative points at the end of the game. But as you're purchasing cards, every card is worth more points. If you're the first one to get there, you get 3 points, or if you're not, you'll get 2 points or whatever. I actually played with a guy who just got down enough to get that first bonus and get the extra 3 points every time, and floated around there as best he could, and then towards the end of the game started bum rushing back to the other side, to not get the negative points at the end of the game. And while I was thinking, because I just kept going on the really high track, and I was thinking, man, that's really strong. That maybe that's the dominant strategy here. He only beat me by 10 points. So it's not that strong. There's obviously the balance is there. They wouldn't put out, I highly doubt that they would put out a game that's super imbalanced or that has a definite winning strategy. There are more cards that are specific for this module, and these ones are slightly more clunky. I had to look up the rules. They probably aren't clunky, but just compared to the other cards, they're a little bit more because, You know, the ones for the other module, the Golem one, most of those cards just let you move up the track more, or let you forge a face on your die to move up the track a little bit more. So a lot of them kind of fall into it's obvious category. You know, with the Goddess module or something, there's like the stealing one that I never really like. It just feels really mean. There's the you get to put these certain bonus tokens on other islands on the board, and you'll get bonuses when you go there. But actually, the one cool thing that I do really like, and I almost kind of wish it was available in the Golem module, is that you have this other little mini board that you can slide under your player board to gather this like purple resource, which is a combination of both, or it's a wild really for red and blue. So you can spend it as either red and blue. You can spend it as either red or blue, and that is really strong, really powerful. Of course, as you gain that, you go down the negative points track. So that's the push and pull of, do I want to be honorable and get bonus points and just get a little bit more gold and a little bit more money? I'm sorry, a little bit more points. That's not that super big bonusy. Or do I want to go get negative points and maybe not keep those negative points, but get more points as I buy cards and get more wild resources and stuff? So, you know, again, I do enjoy this track, but I just think the other one is it's just more my type of thing. One thing that I do really like about this expansion is it comes with a huge plethora of cards. Like, not only are there more cards that are module specific, there's also like, I feel like there's enough cards here where you could play like a whole another game without using those modules and just replace all the cards from the base game. Maybe not more than once, but definitely at least once. Like, every time I've played, I have not played with cards from the base game. I included every time I played both modules, I include just cards from the expansion. So there is a ton of cards, which means that it replaces the one red shard or whatever, where you would get this board extender thing. So now that that's not a card option, every single player can start with a board extender, which is one thing I sort of house ruled now. If we're not, assuming we're not playing with that card, is that everybody starts with the board extender. Because when I played the game before, just the base game, that's always like people's first move, is to just rush and get a board extender. So I'm always like, why don't we just start with it? But there was no card to replace that card until now. My only complaint with this expansion, and it's kind of hard to complain about this, is because the base game of Dice Forge comes with an absolutely beautiful insert. It's functional with the game. As you see, we're using the box here along with the board and everything. Everything has a place, and all the dice have little places here, and perfectly plastic molded insert. Wonderful. And so does this expansion. Has a perfectly molded plastic insert where everything fits in, has a place, and little markings of where it's supposed to go. And again, it fits in here. The artwork matches up, all that kind of stuff, which is almost kind of hurts me to complain about the fact that then that means, I kind of sort of have to keep both boxes. I can't put everything all in here. Now, it's just a little bit annoying for like traveling with it. I have to carry this box and this little box here. Oh, it comes with more bands and stuff. That's true. But I have to have this box in, how am I going to put that on my shelf? It's going to look like that. But then I have all this dead space back here. Again, first world problems, I know. But I would totally be okay to forgive all of that if it meant that we're going to get a big box for Dice Forge for their third or fourth expansion with a really nice molded plastic insert that holds everything all together and everything, and we don't have to worry about lugging around any extra boxes. So that one little minor complaint aside, I don't really have anything negative to say about this, except for, the fact that I just like the Golem expansion, the Golem module, more than the Goddess module. But again, I'm not saying that I don't like the Goddess module. I will play the Goddess module, but the other one's more fun. It would be an amazing expansion if both modules, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're both so fun. I can't pick which one. But, that's a perfect world. Well, hey nerds, if any of what I was talking about in this video sounds interesting to you, I'm going to put a purchase link to Rebellion as well as the base game in the description box down below. Go ahead and get yourself a copy. And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.